Episode 26 of the Three Quarters podcast. That is Kenya's premier sports video podcast. Today being the 28th of May 2017, we're shooting from Langata. And first, we want to thank our hosts for giving us this opportunity to shoot episode 26, which will be dropping in the course of the week on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. As always, we start by thanking our fans, our followers, our viewers, our subscribers for taking your time each week to watch an episode of the Three Quarters podcast. And on behalf of the Three Quarters podcast, all we can do is say asanteni sana na shukran. With every passing day, of course, the road to Japan draws closer. As a matter of fact, yesterday, the 27th of May 2017, the Kenya Simbas played their first game against Germany. They'll be taking on Uganda and Senegal and Tunisia. And then they travel to Bulawayo to take on Zimbabwe and wrap up with a game against Namibia in Windhoek. That is what's going to constitute the qualifiers for the Rugby World Cup in Japan in 2019. Therefore, join the Road to Japan hashtag to give support to these boys, because these boys indeed are the superstars of rugby in Kenya. This is Ngashi Official Noisemaker,
Jerry Goose, Kenyana.
And before we get into part one, we have to shoot a special segment because of what was yesterday. Yesterday being the 27th of May 2017, the Kenya Simbas had their first game. They played Germany at the RFEA grounds. The game ended 30-29 to Germany. Last minute drop goal by Germany. But what was your thought about the Kenya Simbas performance yesterday?
Kenya Simbas performance, well, it was on and off, I think. It started off, the Germans came off fast actually. Then the first minute they got a penalty, 3 points were dropped, but the response was very beautiful.
Yes.
Immediately, was it
Eric
Kerre's try?
Yes.
We started off with but we had the first scrum.
That's where our problem started.
That's when you were there. That's when you started getting fridge kidogo.
Yes.
Because these guys were superior. The scrums very superior. They were shoving us. I think they're heavier.
They are heavier,
they're
definitely.
stronger.
Yeah.
And the technique as well.
Yes.
I think they have that. They have that they properly have that.
Yes.
Let me put it that way.
Yes.
Yeah. Line out as well until Lena General checked in.
Yes, that is
once he checked in, at least we were winning a few of our lineouts.
Yes.
But Moon was
Simon
Nyafu was quite good. On off.
Yes.
Won a few, but lost a lot of our lineouts.
Yes.
The racks.
They were killing us out.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were like a dust being swept off the carpet.
But also, I mean, on the racks, there was quite some questionable calls by the referees on the racks, because there was one rack that happened right in front of where us guys were sitting, and there was definitely hands in the rack. And
the tap,
the
intentional tap,
the intentional tap, which is supposed to be a penalty and a sin bin,
as well.
And nothing was given. So I do, okay, there's set pieces. There's a scrum, there's the maul, there's the line out, there's, let's say, the racks, there's the breakdown. You cannot lose all of them and expect to win a game.
No.
Yes, you can.
Never happen.
You can. Yes, you can lose the scrum, but you can't also lose the molds and the lineouts.
And then I think we should have also learned that adapt to what they've experienced. Let's say the players once they started, they knew we can't beat these guys on the racks. We can't beat these guys on the scrums. We tried quick balls,
yes,
and it worked for us.
Yes,
it was fantastic.
All our tries are off quick balls.
Off quick balls.
Yes,
and someone was doing a good job.
Yes,
actually. Yeah, it's just that attack Biko was a bit.
Biko had a questionable day in attack.
Yeah,
he did what was required of him in defense. Yeah. There was only one try-saving tackle that he made towards the end of the first half. But in all honesty, the fly is almost supposed to be directing your attack, and yesterday we didn't get that from Biko. He's only supposed to be marshalling his backs. You saw Patrice Agunda had a very off day, and mainly because Patrice feeds off a fly half.
Yep.
And therefore he was not able to have a good day. David Ambunya, yes, he did score a try, but we've seen Ambunya put in good performances versus Uganda, versus Hong Kong. But for me, the main issue I think that we need to discuss is we lost due to one thing, and that was inexperience.
Yes.
We lost because the players who had been selected, first, you could tell that there was no cohesion in the team, right? That's number one. And number two, the experience to take it beyond the last mile, for lack of a better, or to take it through the last mile. You can do everything athletically, but you need to dig into some reservoir somewhere which can only come with experience.
Mental.
Exactly. And these guys, the conversation after was clear. Our problem started with the interference in squad selection. in March. Episode 15. That's where we talked about this.
Remember now, we saw Wilson Kopono got injured.
Yes.
Came off.
Yes.
That was the captain.
Yes.
After that, who was the leader?
Who was the leader? You took out a nucleus.
Yeah.
That was leadership. I mean, Curtis Lilako, KCB, Brian Yukuli Strathmore, Edwin Achayo, Nick Baraza. These guys had played Vodacom Cup for 5-6 months together. These guys used to have 4 sessions a day.
Look at that.
Down south.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can imagine the cohesion. Isaac Adimo, you can imagine the cohesion. You can imagine these guys must be on another level.
They were gelling.
They were gelling Vizuri. So now, you take out one person. I mean, Kopondo gets injured, fine. But who was there now to start telling guys, okay, take it easy? Who becomes, I mean, Mukiza on paper, yes, was the vice captain. But even then, it was that nucleus of leadership that used to take charge.
Yep.
Right? And you could not see that. And
it boils down to bring that politics that came into
exactly
squad selection.
Yeah, and squad selection, that's a problem. I can only wait and see what happens now that Elgon Cup is about to start, because truth and the fact is the game we saw against the Germans is what we'll see against Namibia. That's the style of play we're going to see against Namibia.
And if we're playing as we are,
yes,
forget about World Cup.
Forget about World Cup.
Forget about World Cup.
They need to do something about the squad selection. But anyway, that was the result yesterday. The Kenya Simbas losing 30-29 to the Germans at the RFU E8 grounds.
And that drop kick though.
The drop kick, yeah. And you see, even that when that drop kick was coming, the question I was asking myself, it's the last minute. This guy is definitely shaping up for a drop kick.
Yep.
Make it difficult for him.
Hey, Nash, you mentioned something.
Charge down, yeah.
We had a penalty just a minute to go.
You see?
But they decided
to run that ball.
To run the ball instead of going to go for touch.
Yes.
Try and push that thing.
Exactly. So it's
kill the game there.
That's the leadership I'm talking about. Yeah. Decision making. Anyway, that was the result yesterday, 30-29. The Kenya Simbas losing to Germany in what has been their first outing this year, 2017. But yes, there's about the game. What did you think about the atmosphere that was there?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I think yesterday, as fans,
yes,
the fans that we were,
yes,
I really had a good time, and I'm glad that Kenyans came out to watch this game and get behind, be the number 23, the 23rd player.
Yes,
yeah. We
actually now it's 24th.
24th. Evolving.
Yeah,
we were the 24th player, and it was a very fantastic atmosphere.
Yes,
and if all we can ask guys is just keep it up.
Just keep coming.
Keep it up, man. And you clearly we were enjoying ourselves. The game was back and forth stuff.
Yes. And it's actually good. Wilson Kopondo was saying during the week that they do it for Kenyans.
Yeah. And
it's good to see the number of Kenyans who are there supporting guys in their Kenya jerseys, or whether it was the local colors. I think some guys when us guys were much younger, would do the first face painting. Yeah, we did do it this time.
Like some guys.
But anyway, that atmosphere, yes, was electric. I was disappointed in terms of the waves. We've had the waves didn't happen too much. Of course, it was the halftime performance by Mayonde. And you remember what was on social media? They were saying just done so that USIU guys can feel they're watching the Super Bowl. But yeah, that's that. It's ended now. What next for the Kenya Simbas?
Simbas, I really would like, first of all, to get the technical bit. We need to just polish that stuff up.
Yes.
I don't know what these guys were doing in the SA.
Yes.
Our forwards, they have a lot
yes.
of work cut out for them.
Yes.
There's a lot of work they need to put in.
Yeah.
Going for Elgon Cup, when you start with the Uganda
yes.
away.
Yes.
Because Ugandans are also heavy.
Yes,
these guys are not
heavy.
Yeah. Yes. Guys are not pushed through as we might think that they are.
Yeah.
So I think we really need to work on our forwards, Sana, bringing back the old guards.
Yes.
I believe.
Yeah.
Bring back the old guards.
Yeah.
They come with a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And a lot of maturity, mentally especially.
Yes.
Yeah. These guys who are getting their debuts.
Against Germany.
Against Germany, man. Give them a debut, yes. But let them not start.
Either start, not even start. Don't let them come to rescue the situation.
Yes. Bring in your experience, guys.
Yeah.
Let them kill the game.
Yes.
Then bring the debutants.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just now, you can have now enjoy yourself, kidogo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree with you. The technical bench really needs to think about what they're going to do now next. They need to bring back those players.
Yeah.
The guys that they were dropped, we talked about it in episode 15, our special segment.
Yes.
They need to bring back those players because these guys were actually, you could tell the difference. When we talk about that leadership and mental strength and being able to grind out games and being able to tell them, you know what, you guys, it's all about the 15 of us on the pitch. Let's push it.
It is now.
It's now. So yeah, I do think that the technical bench needs to think about how they're going to select the squad. A couple of players stood out for Kenya yesterday. That was on the 27th of May when Kenya took on Germany. But to you, who do you think was the most outstanding player for Kenya despite the loss?
Yeah. I think give a shout out to captain.
Yes.
Yeah, Wilson Kopondo.
Yeah.
I think he had a very fantastic game up until he got injured.
Yes.
Yeah, very entertained us with his breakaway try. Yeah, it was quite entertaining.
Yeah.
But my bad man of the week, of the game rather.
Yes.
Kenya versus Germany is one man, Jacob Oje.
Yes. Jacob Oje.
Jacob Oje.
Yes.
Yeah, guy had some powerful runs.
He had some powerful runs.
His defensive positioning, I think I really liked it.
Was excellent.
Yeah. Remember the try that he supplied Ambunya?
Yeah, he set up Ambunya, exactly.
From inside his own 22. He was being called.
And this German guy actually, who caught up with him in the German 22. Yeah. And Oje was able to drag him out for a bit.
And when he went down, that's when he just offloaded it off.
Proper rugby.
It's a fancy rugby, don't go.
And it's funny because Oje is coming back from injury.
Yeah.
Oje broke his leg in 2015, so he didn't really feature in 2016 for the Simbas. So he's just getting back. So I do agree with you. The man of the match yesterday was Jacob Oje for KCB.
Yeah, Kamisa.
But anyway, that's not the last game. The next game, of course, with Kenya playing Uganda, or Uganda actually hosting Kenya at the Chadondo grounds in Kampala on 10th of June. The Three Quarters podcast, of course, is going to be there. We're going to be in Uganda. So yeah, for those guys who would like a weekend out or a road trip or whatever, come to the Chadondo grounds, or let's head to the Chadondo grounds on 10th of June 2016 to watch the Kenya Simbas take on Uganda Cranes.
Let's go finish them there.
And that's number one. Number two, after Uganda, we have Uganda at home. We have Senegal at home. We have Tunisia at home. Then we have Hong Kong at home later on in August. So, as always, we ask you guys to keep supporting the Kenya Simbas, because these guys are indeed the superstars of rugby in Kenya, as we keep saying. That has been our special segment on the Kenya Simbas versus Germany game that happened yesterday, the 27th of May 2017. This is Ngashi, official noisemaker.
Jeringus, Kenyana.
Stay tuned for episode 26, part 1.